Church, Secrets and Legends. Los Angeles, California is a city built on a prayer. A place people have long come to discover themselves or invent new identities. A testament to that guiding principle can be found right in the center of town, where a beautiful yet mysterious building stands. Possibly the most secretive landmark property in all of Hollywood. This 7-story Normandy-style castle was once a grand hotel filled with movie stars. Today, it still welcomes luminaries as the home of the Celebrity Center International, part of the Church of Scientology. This controversial religion counts among its members some of Hollywood's biggest stars. But critics argue that it's less concerned with the spiritual than the material.
It was all about money and power and fame and sex.
But it's also about activities that cross over into the criminal.
Not only did they steal government documents, they bugged these offices as well.
What compelled a burgeoning religious movement to break the law? And how did the church fall into the crosshairs of the FBI? Los Angeles, 1950. 39-year-old science fiction writer Lafayette Ronald Hubbard is living on penny-a-word stories published in pulp magazines. But his ambitions are much higher. Hubbard develops a self-help system to cure people of their fears and anxieties.
In his attempt to cash in on the burgeoning self-help movements, he wrote a book called Dianetics, which became his first massive bestseller.
Hubbard holds public demonstrations of a process called auditing, where people suffering from emotional or physical problems relive painful events from the past and are cleared of them.
In essence, auditing is hypnosis. The subject is supposed to go through various traumas and bad experiences that they've had in their lives.
Hubbard trains his auditors to use a device called an E-meter.
In essence, it's a lie detector. But at a certain point, when you've reached a level of peace with all your past traumas, your auditor will say to you, your needle is floating, that's a good sign. And they'll move on to the next trauma.
A flood of new converts starts signing up for treatments, and Hubbard realizes his dream.
There is a quote attributed to L. Ron Hubbard to paraphrase, hey, if you want to make $1 million, start your own religion.
Hubbard's self-help program becomes the Church of Scientology, and the money starts flowing.
They will charge you to go through all your past lives, so it's set up to be an endless source of income for Scientology.
While converts are convinced of Scientology's authenticity, some see the church's core beliefs as Hubbard's wildest science fiction.
The story is that the galactic dictator Xenu wanted to solve the overpopulation problem of the galaxy and flew millions of beings to the planet Tigiak, which is now known as Earth, put them in volcanoes, detonated a hydrogen bomb, and now all of these decorporealized alien entities are on our bodies, and we need Scientology tech to get rid of these so-called body thetans.
Ridiculous sham or legitimate religion? Whatever the case, the United States government initially determines that Scientology is a charitable organization, giving the group tax-exempt status.
Hubbard really wanted this status so he could claim that Scientology was a religion and then hide behind the First Amendment protections awarded to religions, and also become more attractive and palatable to the public that he was trying to recruit.
But in 1967, the IRS does an about-face and strips Scientology of its charitable status, finding its activities are commercial and directly benefiting Hubbard. To protect his new religion, Hubbard proposes one of the wildest operations ever aimed at the U.S. government.
The mentality is essentially anyone who is against us is our enemy. And Hubbard created this fair game policy.
It meant to lie, cheat, trick, steal, and otherwise destroy anyone critical of Scientology.
Two of the most incredible targets are the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Justice in a campaign known as Operation Snow White.
This became Scientology's own Watergate. It was Hubbard's own directive to purge government offices around the world of any incriminating files on either himself or Scientology.
When federal agents discover these black ops, they strike back. And in July 1977, conduct raids against church offices in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles.
Operation Snow White ended up being a huge legal problem for Scientology. Henchmen were all convicted of theft of government documents. They did jail time, and Hubbard escaped prosecution as an unindicted co-conspirator.
Over the next 2 decades, the church works aggressively to gain followers all around the world. It also launches lawsuits against its critics and even government officials. It pays off in 1993 when the church succeeds in winning back its tax-exempt status.
Giving them tax exemption was to get Scientology off their backs because they were hiring PIs to dig up dirt on the IRS agents. And the IRS agents and the government just said, enough with this. We don't want to be harassed anymore. We don't want to deal with these people anymore.
But church founder L. Ron Hubbard doesn't live to witness this victory. He dies in 1986 after suffering a stroke. Scientology leaders proclaim that Hubbard simply decided to drop his body in order to continue his research on another planet. Today, the Church of Scientology claims it has millions of adherents worldwide. But critics say the controversies surrounding the church are taking their toll.
We're watching the disappearance of a cult, and it won't be long.
Still, with high-profile members giving it a celebrity cachet, the mysteries surrounding one of the world's most secretive religions endure.